Who's the best player in the country?
To the media or me?
As you see it.
I feel like I'm the best player in the country.
Okay.
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you.
Let's stop pretending. Angel Reese is one of the most hyped players in the WNBA right now, but she might also be the most confusing. One game, she's a walking double-double. The next, she disappears on offense. 1 minute, she's clapping in people's faces with confidence. The next, she's online claiming she's the most hated. You don't know whether to love her, fear her, or just be totally confused by what version you're going to get. So today, we're breaking it all down. Why is Angel Reese the most confusing player ever? Let's start with the numbers, because stat sheets can lie. Reese is consistently putting up double-doubles, grabbing boards like a beast, and racking up solid box scores. But here's the thing, does she actually change the game? Does her presence tilt the court? Or is it just padding in losses? It's confusing because on paper, she looks elite.
We'll give it up to Allen. They're going to give up that shot to her. Reese puts it up, count the bucket. Body bucket and one for Angel.
You can't teach rebounding instincts like hers. But then you watch the actual games, and you ask yourself, where is the dominance? She's not closing games. She's not taking over in clutch moments. She's putting up 14 and 12, but her team's still down 15. There's a weird disconnect between her numbers and her impact, and that's where the confusion starts. She looks like a star in the stats, but in reality, she still feels like a player searching for her identity on the pro level. This is where things get really confusing. Angel Reese came into the national spotlight with the "you can't see me" moment in college. She embraced the villain role. She loved being hated. She said it herself, "I'm okay being the bad guy." But now, every time someone criticizes her, she jumps to social media like she's the victim. So which one is it? Are you the villain or are you misunderstood? Are you trolling or are you traumatized? Because it can't be both every time. It's confusing to fans because we don't know how to receive her energy. When she talks trash, we're here for it. When she posts like she's being targeted, it feels like a contradiction. You can't clap in someone's face and then get mad when the crowd boos you. If you're gonna play the heel, own it 24/7, not just when it's convenient. Let's talk about the number one thing that makes Angel Reese confusing as hell. Her confidence is elite, but her consistency, not even close.
And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.
And this is the tension fans are stuck watching every single game. She walks into the gym like she owns the league. She stares down opponents. She claps in faces. She flexes after rebounds. You'd think she was a 10-year veteran with 3 rings the way she carries herself, but then the game starts. And you're watching her struggle with missed layups, get lost in defensive rotations, or go completely quiet in the second half. It's like the attitude is 5 stars, but the performance still feels stuck at 2.5. And look, confidence is not the problem. In fact, it's the one thing she's got more of than anyone else in the league right now. She has the aura, she has the moment. But when the moment calls for action, sometimes she just doesn't deliver. She'll talk about being the best rebounder in the league, then get bodied in the paint by a veteran who's been grinding for years. She'll hype up her defensive mindset, then let her assignment get an easy bucket.
Dumps it down, Reese bangs inside and flips it in. Angel Reese attacking Melissa Smith again.
That mismatch between how she presents herself and what she actually produces on a game-to-game basis is jarring. It's like watching a movie with an epic trailer but a weak script. You see the hype, you want to believe the story, but when the credits roll, you're still asking, wait, was that it? The truth is, Angel's personality is built for superstardom, but that persona has to be backed by dominant, consistent, every night production. Right now, it's not. And until that changes, fans are going to stay confused. They'll keep wondering if she's really that girl, or just playing the part louder than anyone else. Now, this one's the most frustrating part for a lot of fans. Angel Reese is everywhere. You can't scroll through your feed without seeing her face in a highlight, clip, a brand deal, or a trending quote.
Angel Reese, girl, you're my angel, you're my darling.
And look, credit where it's due, she's got business locked down. She knows how to build a brand. NIL deals, WNBA partnerships, social media strategy, she's killing that side of the game. But here's where it gets complicated. The game itself hasn't caught up yet. She's being sold like a finished product, like she's already a top 5 talent. But when you actually watch her on the floor, it's clear she's still very much a work in progress. She's still learning to create her own shot, still struggling with foul trouble, still working on efficiency, still getting benched late in games. She's got hustle, she's got heart, but she's not a franchise anchor yet, no matter what the headlines say. And that gap, that disconnect between image and reality, is where the confusion kicks in. Because casual fans who don't watch the games only see the marketing machine. They think she's dominating every night, but the hardcore fans, the ones actually watching her 4 out of 12 shooting nights,
Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star.
they're seeing a very different picture. And that picture doesn't match the hype, at least not yet. It's not Angel's fault that she's being marketed so aggressively. She's earned her spotlight through college dominance, personality, and pure magnetism. But when the league positions her as one of the faces of the WNBA before she's even put together a stretch of elite performances, that's when expectations get bloated. And bloated expectations always lead to backlash. So now, every time she has an off night, fans go straight to social media like, this is the player y'all keep hyping up, and that's the trap. Angel's caught between brand and basketball, and until the two match up, she'll keep being more viral than valuable. Let's get to the core question, the one no one wants to ask out loud, but everyone keeps dancing around. What is Angel Reese really building in this league? Is she building a legacy that's going to last, shape the WNBA for the next decade, and make her one of the all-time greats? Or is she just building headlines, temporary attention that fades when the hype moves on to the next name? Because here's the harsh truth. Right now, it feels like we're watching two versions of Angel Reese, the icon the media created, and the still developing player on the floor. And they don't match up. One is loud, viral, trending daily, always in the spotlight. The other, still inconsistent, still figuring out her role, still struggling to put a full 4 quarters of dominance together against elite WNBA talent. And it's not about attacking her. It's about asking the honest, uncomfortable questions that no one wants to ask because they're too busy feeding the hype machine. Let's look at what a legacy really means. A legacy isn't built on tweets. It isn't built on viral celebrations. It isn't built on clapping in people's faces after rebounds. A legacy is built on winning, on evolving, on showing up every single night no matter who the opponent is and leaving zero doubt. A legacy is when your name means something without needing explanation. Right now, Angel Reese's name means controversy. It means chaos. It means attention.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd.
But what it doesn't consistently mean is dominance. That's the problem. Yes, she's one of the best rebounders in the league already. Her motor is insane. She crashes the boards harder than most. That's facts. But is she someone you trust with the ball in the final 2 minutes? Is she closing out games for her team? Is she the engine of a winning culture? Not yet, not even close. And here's the most confusing part of all. The spotlight is already on her like she's a superstar, but her game hasn't reached that level yet. She's not top 5 in her position. She's not winning games with 25-point nights and lockdown defense. She's barely scratching the surface of her offensive potential. And yet, she's already a face of the league in media terms. That gap, that's what's driving people crazy. Because when you're in commercials, interviews, podcasts, magazine covers, you're telling the world you've arrived. But when you step on the court and go 4 for 13 with 3 fouls and a late game benching, fans start asking questions. Is this real? Or is this just a narrative they're selling? That's the danger here. The WNBA wants stars, and Angel fits the profile perfectly. She's loud, she's polarizing, she's confident, she sells tickets. But if the production doesn't eventually match the branding, the whole thing collapses. We've seen it before, in every sport. Players who get crowned too early, and when they don't deliver, the backlash is worse than the hype ever was.
Made some comments about Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You called her garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports.
Because people feel lied to. They feel like they were sold greatness and got inconsistency instead. That's the storm Angel Reese is standing in right now. And then there's the other side of it, the distraction factor. Angel Reese doesn't just play basketball, she plays social media, she plays the quote game, she plays the branding game, which in today's era is important. But the question is, how much of that is helping her grow on the court? Because if you're spending as much time managing the storylines as you are mastering your footwork, the development slows down. No one questions her hustle. No one questions her heart. But the focus, the refinement, the hunger to be great beyond just proving doubters wrong, that's still unclear. It's one thing to thrive off being hated. It's another thing to shut everybody up with performance. And that's what separates legends from loud noise. Look at the true greats, players like Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi. They weren't just flashy, they weren't just popular. They put their heads down and dominated. And when the cameras rolled, they let their game speak first. That's legacy building. That's the blueprint. Right now, Angel's blueprint is messy, it's loud, it's exciting, but it's hard to read. And if that blueprint doesn't evolve, if she doesn't start backing up every headline with dominance that leaves no doubt, then this hype train crashes, fast. Because here's the cold truth, if you're all sizzle and no stake in this league, they move on. The WNBA has more talent coming in every year, and the next IT player is always on the way. The only way to stay relevant is to prove that your name belongs in the same sentence as real greatness. So is Angel Reese building a legacy, or is she building a media moment? Only time will tell. But right now, the confusion is loud and the clock is ticking, because sooner or later, fans won't care about the tweets, the claps, the headlines. They'll care about one thing: can she take over games and lead teams to wins? And until that question has a clear answer, Angel Reese will remain exactly what she is today, the most confusing player in the WNBA.